their discipline on offense is elite. Maybe as elite as any team in the country. Like, they know what they want to do, you know what they're going to do, and you still have to figure out a way to stop it.
Yeah, two of the best in the country, and guys that have gone at each other for a couple years now. They know each other so well. I know Colin has great respect for Marcus. I think fans are going to see two of the smartest and most skilled point guards in the country.
You know, we lost to him at home last year. We've lost, 2 or 3 games at home this year. And we'd like to flip that script if we could on Saturday afternoon.
Oh, you could just feel the intensity listening to those two head coaches. A Big East Hoops heavyweight clash in Omaha this evening, 5 Eastern time on Fox, as number 5 Villanova travels to number 19 Creighton. We'll talk with the voice of the matchup on the Fox telecast later today, Tim Brando, who will join me in a little bit to break down this showdown. Welcome to Big East Shoot-Around, everybody. Good morning to all of you. We got a lot to get to today in the Big East with 3 headlines to begin. And the day starts at noon Eastern on Fox when Xavier welcomes in UCONN. The Musketeers back in action after a series of COVID-19 related issues. Here's the good news for Xavier. They're 11-2. They're 4-2 in the Big East. They own a great win over Oklahoma. And this Xavier team defensively has been strong in the field goal percentage defense category. They're only allowing teams to shoot 38% from the field. That's tops in the Big East. On the flip side for UConn, Huskies need a win. They're 5-5 in the Big East. They're getting bubbly. This is a quadrant 1 road opportunity, and a win today for UConn would be huge. For the Huskies, they've got to attack the rim. They shot 50% on 2-pointers against Providence earlier this week in that loss to the Friars on the road, but they shot 4 for 20 from 3. If you're UConn, you got to know who you are. Get the ball inside. Xavier not as strong on the interior as they've been in other years, so for UConn, you got to pound the glass, and you got to find a way to muck it up to try to grind out a road win. This will be a battle. These two teams played a double overtime thriller in the Charleston Classic last year. I expect another one in thrilling fashion today. Number 2, let's turn to the Butler Bulldogs, who ended St. John's 6-game winning streak at Hinkle Fieldhouse earlier this week. The Bulldogs getting contributions from Aaron Thompson and Bryce Enzi, both with double-doubles in this game. Thompson just finds ways to make plays. He has just taken on that role that we saw Kamar Baldwin take on to the elite level last year. Thompson's been strong. He's found ways to make things happen. Forced overtime with a great bucket, but he can create, and that's why he had 10 assists against St. John's. And for the Johnnies, they're still in an okay place. They have work to do, but they're about to come back home next week. Tuesday, they've got Xavier. Saturday, they've got DePaul. You got to start to get things rolling now at Carnesecca Arena. It is a prime opportunity for them to put together another run on the home stretch. And number 3 in the headlines. Here we go. It's the Jays. It's the Wildcats. Villanova, Creighton, 2 of the 3 co-champions in the regular season, the Big East last year. They've just carried it over into this season. They've been as advertised. Top 20 matchup at the CHI Health Center in Omaha later this evening. And a couple of thoughts on this one. For Villanova, Jeremiah Robinson-Earl is playing out of this world. He's coming off a 27-point performance, one shy of his career high. He was 10 of 11 from the field against Marquette earlier this week. So the prime question for Creighton is, how do you find a defensive answer for Robinson-Earl? Because he's so versatile. But Creighton has the versatility to counter him. They've got Damian Jefferson. They've got Denzel Mahoney. That's huge for me at the forward spots, because I think that Colin Gillespie and Marcus Zagorowski are going to make plays. In a lot of ways, they can almost cancel one another out because they're just elite point guards. You got to find that play at the forward spots, and if those forwards are playing well and stretching the floor, that's when it gets really, really difficult to defend these two teams. And Jay Wright's concern is being able to handle the 5-man for Creighton, Christian Bishop, who has been such an X factor for this Jays team in the pick and rolls, in his ability to flash towards the rim. When you have that guy doing the amount of work he does off the ball, and then you have the shooters that Creighton possesses, makes it a tough defensive task for a Villanova team that's been a little shaky defensively. The Cats have shown us that when they need their defense, it can come up big. They're going to need it later today. Villanova and Creighton split their meetings last year with the road team winning both. So we'll see what happens. In the Big East this year, you've seen the Black Lives Matter patches on the uniforms. The Big East, first conference to implement this wonderful idea to create change, to create racial equality, to fight the social injustices. This is one of many actions taking place. It's in conjunction with the Coaches for Action group. And we talked to Big East players and coaches about this initiative and what it means.
I think having all Big East teams, wear the BLM patches, is huge.
As athletes, a lot of times we don't have the opportunity to voice our opinions. And I feel like we have the platform, but not always the opportunity to.
It's a big thing to let people know where you stand. And I think, wearing the patch specifically is a statement our student athletes wanted to make. And I think that is them being able to use their voice and their platform.
It's a matter of great consequence, and we wanted to come together as a basketball conference and community and say Black Lives Matter.
The Black Lives Matters patch is awareness to just the injustice that's in America, that has been in America for years, and all it is a symbol of black men and women are important in today's society.
I think it's important for the league to show the support that they have for the African-American people and the struggles that the African-American people go through on a daily basis.
It's very impactful because it shows that we're not alone, and people really do care about this situation that's going on.
To support our players and the communities that they come from, and to strive for equality and unity amongst all people in this country is, I think it's a beautiful thing.
It is really important to me that Big East teams will wear Black Lives Matter patches because I feel like systematic racism and social injustice plays a huge role right now in our society, and I want equality, I want change. Just having a lot of friends who are people of color, I want them to feel safe, I don't want them to feel threatened, and I want to show them my support.
It's the right thing to do, and it's powerful when you wear it on your jersey, and I hope it just keeps the importance of the social justice movement in our minds every game we play.
So Black Lives Matter to me represents that awareness that we can allow our league and our players, our coaches, and most importantly our universities to be part of change in this country.
We're talking with the man who will call a heavyweight showdown between Villanova and Creighton, a top 20 battle in the Big East, 5 Eastern time on Fox. Later this evening, it's Tim Brando. Tim, you call many games for Fox Sports, many big ones throughout the calendar year. What makes this one special?
Well, first let's say that this isn't Omaha, okay? This is the Chateau. We did do this a little earlier. So it's great to be with you, John. What makes this one a heavyweight matchup is just, I think, the resumes of both teams. And if you look at the reformation of the conference, Villanova is the new blue blood of the Big East. I think probably of the original members, Georgetown and St. John's would have been as charter members, the first names that would come to mind. But Villanova, for what it has done, whether Jay likes it or not, is the blue blood of the mighty Big East. And of the newbies of the Big East, the acquisitions that helped make the rebirth take place, there's been no team that's had a greater influence than Creighton. Yeah. They came in lighting it up with Greg's son, and then have managed to stay relevant, albeit not with a run nearly as deep as perhaps they would like. But they are the past champion. They are a team that tied for the regular season title, but was the #1 seed in last year's tournament that didn't see it past day 2. And they were on that floor against St. John's, as you know, on that ill-fated afternoon when we called one half and all of college basketball as we knew it then was coming to an end. No confetti coming from the top of Madison Square Garden. So I think that this is a game for Creighton, especially with Zagorowski back and with the energy and enthusiasm of players returning to their team and Villanova as the constant of the league. These are the two teams, I believe, that most people around the country outside the Big East footprint would see as the two premium teams currently and historically in the short-term history of what has been the new Big East.
You say Villanova is the constant in this conference, Tim, and the results have shown. What do you think specifically stands out about this Jay Wright team?
No real big man, so to speak. No Sadiq Bey type that can clean up and get easy baskets for you. I think they have to work harder to get their baskets, although when we say work harder, they make it look so easy, with the way their ball movement is done, and every one of them can shoot. All of them can give a ball fake, and guys go flying into the third or fourth row, and they get an open look. So Villanova makes something that's really hard look easy. They don't turn it over that often, and even if they do, they usually find a way to make it happen. And you can play defenses as well as you think you can play, and ultimately guys make plays. For them, it's not about running plays. It's about making plays. Coaches coach their culture, and that's what Jay has done. He's not big on drawing up plays necessarily. It's not that he can't. He certainly can. But he has a culture that he trusts his players to make plays for him within the framework of the Villanova culture.
Outside of Villanova and Creighton, what's your most compelling storyline in this league at the moment?
Will Seton Hall get the play that they need from their backcourt to match their front court? Because if they do, they are a team that could make a huge run, could win the tournament, could win the Big East tournament, and could go well beyond the first weekend of the NCAAs. In fact, from a matchup standpoint, they're a veteran club. They're a little like Creighton. They're a veteran team, but they've got more size. The issue for them is finding someone besides Mahmoud Kalashvili to count on. Okay, and I think as Aiken has fought off all of his injuries and coming over after the transfer, trying to get that chemistry between himself and Miles Cale into Sandro Kalashvili has not been easy. But when they're right, when Seton Hall is right, they become a team that can make a case, could go perhaps even further than Villanova or Creighton.
Even though I know you'll be in your hotel room, distanced, and getting ready for the game in Omaha between the Blue Jays and the Wildcats, I just hope that there's a steak out of Omaha that's delivered to your door.
I'm having some Drover whiskey steak catered over to the hotel for this evening. Yes. I've been to Omaha many times in my career for the College World Series. I did 7 of them in my time at ESPN in my 9 years there, and made a lot of friends. And I highly recommend the Drover for steak if ever you're there, or if you're looking for just party and fun time before or after the game. Paulie's, it's not on Leavenworth anymore, but Paulie's is a wonderful spot to stop if ever you're in Omaha, Nebraska. Yeah, I've got, as they say, some friends in Omaha that are going to take care of me.
Some really interesting stuff from the great Tim Brando, and we thank Timmy B for zooming in from the one and only Chateau. He brought up Seton Hall and the need for the backcourt to be able to complement Sandro Kalashvili well enough. Well, Miles Cale did that last week. Senior guard for the Pirates combined for 39 points and 8 rebounds in those 2 road wins over Providence and UConn. And it's not just the 2 games for Cale. This has now been a strong surge for the senior. You could argue the best stretch of offensive basketball by Cale in his career. Over the last 6 games, he's averaged nearly 16 points per contest. We'll see if he can continue that on Sunday. A Valentine's Day game for you. Perfect time slot as well. 3 Eastern time, FS1, when the Hall returns home to welcome in Marquette. So you can watch a little Big East basketball, and then if you've got that wonderful date, you can have a stay-at-home romantic Valentine's Day dinner. And we hope all of you have a great Valentine's Day. But first, some action to get to today. Noon, Fox, UConn, Xavier. Critical matchup between these 2 teams. They both could use it in different ways. UConn really needs to try to get off the snide. Xavier back in action. What will they look like? They've come off pauses and have looked fine. We'll see if they can continue it this afternoon. And then the day continues with Butler and Georgetown, 1:30 Eastern Time, CBS Sports Network. Creighton Villanova, followed by the nightcap, Providence, coming off a nice win over UCONN. We'll see if they can string together something. They'll be taking on DePaul. Thanks for joining us for Big East Shootaround. Have a wonderful College Hoops Saturday. Happy Valentine's Day, Big East Hoops fans. Thanks for being here.